Hello everyone, welcome to this screencast. Today I'm going to be showing you how to configure a Jenkins job to trigger when a change is made to a GitHub repository. So for example, you have your GitHub repository and you want a build to happen when you push or you make a pull request to a certain branch or any branch as the case may be. So for that, I'm going to be using an EC2 instance which is already running. You can see here, and the first thing I'm going to be doing is connect to it. So I'm going to connect to it like this. So AWS provides a connection string, SSH connection string. So I'm going to just copy this and paste it in the terminal. So this string, this mkey.pem is a file that I already have inside of this download folder. It's like an identity file. Instead of username and password, I'm going to be using a .pem key, and if I hit enter, it's going to connect to the machine. You can see I'm already connected to the Jenkins machine. So the next thing here is that we are supposed to install Jenkins, of course, but I've already installed Jenkins here. You can see if I say where is Jenkins, you can see I have Jenkins installed already. So but for a first time user, I'm going to put the link and command to install Jenkins. I'm going to put it in the description below so you can check. So after Jenkins is installed, oh, by the way, this is an Ubuntu server. You can see Ubuntu and Ubuntu at Jenkins. So I'm going to put a description for Ubuntu server in the description below. So when that is settled, the next thing is going to be Ubuntu Jenkins run on port 8080. So the next thing that I'm going to have to do is grab the public IP of my instance and then attach a port 8080 to it so I can access Jenkins. So if I do like this, you can see I am greeted with a login face, an interface where I can put in my username and password. For a first time user, this is not what you're going to get. You're going to get a setup, something like a setup page. Let me show you a typical thing that you would see. So for example, for a first time user, you're going to see this is the first page you're going to see when you access your Jenkins on port 8080. You're going to see this. So Jenkins comes automatically with an initial password. You're not going to provide that. Jenkins is going to provide that for you, just so to know that okay, the person that is accessing this page for the first time is I really have access to the machine. So what you are just supposed to do is cut this part, and then you are going to have access to this password. Put it here. It's going to ask you to do you want to install some recommended plugins, which of course you should install. So you are going to click that, and then the plugins are going to be installed with this interface showing, and then you're going to be greeted with this again. So after this interface, you're supposed to create a user, which will be like the next interface after this, and that user is what you will now use to log in subsequently. So for me, I'm going to log in here. So I am logged in here, right? So these are my, for a first time user, you're not going to be seeing previous jobs like this, of course. So these are my previous jobs. So I'm just going to go ahead and create some new jobs. So you are going to create a new job. You're going to create this. I'm going to give it a name. Let's say Jenkins test, right? And you're going to click freestyle project and then click OK. It's going to take you to the configuration page, right? So the first thing you are going to do when you get to the configuration page is select Git. Alright, so when you select Git, you're going to have to specify the repository where you want to create a job for, right? So I am going to grab the link to the repository that I want to build from my GitHub account. So I'll grab the link and I'm going to come back here and paste it. So here it's asking for a repository, your credential rather. So here I've already made some login to my GitHub account, but for a first time user you're going to come here and create a username and password credentials, right? So you're going to click username and password. There are a lot of things you can do here, but basically you create a username and password account. So you create your username and password, and then you hit add, and then you'll be able to access it from this page. So I'm going to just click one of the ones that I've created. So here it's asking which branch do you want to build, like, okay, so which branch. So you can either specify a certain branch or when any branch or when any change is made to the repository. So for me, since I have main as my main branch is named main, as you can see here, so I'm just going to come here and give it main instead of master, right? So that, and then you come to build trigger. You have to select this GitHub hook trigger for Git SCM polling, right? So that. Now the next thing to do is to make sure that after our build has completed, we have our repository saved in the Jenkins environment. So we are going to click add a post build action. So we are going to click send build file over SSH build. Okay, archive the artifact. So we are going to archive the artifact. So artifacts are just the remnant of your build. When your build finishes, the remnants, the Git repository files and everything are called artifacts here. So I'm going to just say archive the artifact, right? So it's asking which file to archive. I'm just going to put 2 stars there. 2 stars there means it should archive all the files, right? So I'm going to click save. Right? So we are done. We are done with the configuration of the job now, but we need to set up the GitHub, the webhook for the GitHub, right, which I have already done. I'm just going to show you. So you come to your repository, and then you come to settings, and then you come to the webhook section. So you would, when you are making a webhook, you're going to grab the public IP of your server at port 8080, and then you're just going to slash it with GitHub hook, right? GitHub hook, there's a mistake there. So you're going to select JSON, application JSON, instead of your form URL encoded. So you're going to select application JSON, and that's it. You're just going to leave it as just the push event active and all of that, and then you are just going to update. GitHub is going to send a ping to the server to test if it's available. So for here now, if I want to test the server, I will do it manually like this to deliver, just to make sure that you can see it has sent something to the server, right? So with that, we have configured the repositories webhook configuration, right? So we are now going to come to this code. So before I make any change to the repository here, let me show you that we do not have, okay, the deliver that I wrote right now is this build that it's just sent here. Is this build, right? So that's why I have one job here, because I just tested it, so that's why it brought this. But to make sure that this another job is triggered by making changes to the repository, so I'm just going to come here and make a change to the to the readme file, just so to confirm that okay, our job is triggering. So let me add hello world to this and make the change. So since I have configured the job to build only on main branch, I'm just going to push to the main branch. If I commit to another branch, it's not going to build, right? But because I have configured it to build only on main branch, so I'm going to just add a commit message, add a change, and commit the change. So as soon as this is done, let's come here and see our job getting built. You can see now we have another job that has been built here. You can see it here. So if I click here and go to console output, you can see that it has successfully been built, and you can see the commit message here, add a change, and then it has archived the artifact. Now if you want to see the artifact, I'm going to go back to the terminal, and so we have the artifact here. These are the files, right? But for us to see it in the server through the terminal, we are going to come here. Let me get the path to okay. So the GitHub repository is going to be available in this part. So build number is going to be, because the build is, if you check, the build is number 2, is build number 2. So if I come here and put 2 here, 2, okay. So the name of the repository is the name of the job is Jenkins test, right? So I'm going to put it here, and if I cd into this part now, if I enter this part now and write ls to list the files, so you can see I have this repository here now, right? If I cut the readme file that I changed, cut readme, if I cut readme, you'll see the yellow word that I added here. So that is basically how you configure an automatic build from GitHub Webhook. I hope you enjoyed this lesson, and thank you very much for watching. Have a good time.